This is Brian of ScreenFiles.com and Trailer to Reaction. In the fan community, there's a lot of ire surrounding David Lindelof. And that's interesting, because if you've seen any interviews with him, he seems very personable. And a person that seems to go out of his way to ingratiate himself with people at times. So it's kind of odd, but it's understandable, especially if you've seen some of the movies he's worked on. For instance, he did the rewrite of John Spaeth's screenplay for Prometheus. And that wasn't, despite what some people may think about Prometheus, it wasn't a bad movie. The problem was, Prometheus began life as an alien movie, as in there are actual xenomorphs in the movie. Not pseudo-aliens, not aliens becoming something else. Actual aliens were in that movie. And Damon Lindelof, I assume ordered to do so by Ridley Scott, began to remove those elements of the story. So that's frustrating. It doesn't make Prometheus bad, but it does make it a little troubling and just an odd movie. It's not, as I said, Prometheus is a pretty good movie actually, but it's neither fish nor fowl. It's very odd. Now remember earlier I mentioned that Damon Lindelof seems to be a pretty decent guy, and I stand by that. But keep in mind, he also wrote Star Trek Into Darkness, which shits on Wrath of Khan. The best Star Trek movie made, frankly. No, I don't think there's any argument there. It shits on that, and it just does really stupid and irritating things. Now, I don't know if Lindelof wrote Into Darkness alone. There may have been co-writers. But the point being, he was involved with it. That just destroys you with fans, because that movie is so terrible. It's not terribly done. It's just written really not very good. And lots of implausible little things happen, and it's a frustrating movie. Conversely, Lindelof worked on the HBO series The Leftovers. He also worked on Lost, but his most recent television work was with The Leftovers. And that received a lot of acclaim and was supposedly very good. And now he's doing an adaptation. No, that's not quite right. He's an expansion. He's continuing the Watchmen story from Alan Moore and I believe Dave Gibbons. And I don't know what to think about that, because Alan Moore, the writer of Watchmen, is notoriously against people making movies of his properties. The first version of Watchmen was a movie, and that was by Zack Snyder. And that was not bad. I find it a little turgid and just not that great a movie. It's visually interesting. Then again, most of Zack Snyder's work is visually interesting. But it's just somewhat empty, and it's cold. Also not an unknown trend for Zack Snyder's work. So there have been depictions of Alan Moore's characters before, but as I said, he does not like it. And I think that I don't hold that against him, frankly. I mean, these are his creations. He doesn't own them, but DC launched a Watchmen comic. It's named Watchmen based on Alan Moore's characters, but he had nothing to do with it, nor would he want to. He doesn't look well on that. And now Damon Lindelof has created a series for HBO based on Watchmen. I don't know what to think about this. Damon Lindelof, as I implied heavily, is very hit or miss. Sometimes he does really awesome work. Sometimes he just shits the bed. So I don't know which this is going to be. Let's take a look at the trailer.
This is a stand-up! Who are you?
Who am I? If I knew the answer to that, I wouldn't be wearing a mask.
There are people who believe that this world is fair and good. It's all lollipops and rainbows. We don't do lollipops and rainbows. We know those are pretty colors that just hide what the world really is. Black and white.
Soon thou shalt save us. And we will whisper, "Come."
convinced ourselves that they were gone. But they were just hibernating. They came for everybody. Call, please.
Coordinated simultaneous attacks at the homes of Tulsa PD. So the cops hide their faces, and now the bad guys don't know where they live. And who doesn't want a secret identity?
People who wear masks are dangerous. We should be scared of them.
Why?
Because they're hiding something.
Lori Blake, FBI. You know how you can tell the difference between a masked cop and a vigilante?
No.
Me neither.
Living fast. An insidious conspiracy. Acclaimed. Towards your body. Your head will explode.
Who are you?
Maybe, I'm Dr. Manhattan.
He lives on fucking Mars.
You curse too much.
Oh, shit!
Nothing ever ends. It's only just begun.
Well, that was the trailer for Watchmen, and it looks complex. There seems to be overarching stories, and I wish there were more superheroics in it. Again, that's just a trailer. There could be tons of them, but it reminded me somewhat of like Runaways, the Marvel show that's on Hulu's, in which that you have a lot of character drama. It's very soapy, in fact, intermixed with occasional episodes of superheroics. And this looks kind of similar to that. I don't know, but I'm cautiously optimistic. As I said, Lindelof is actually, in my eyes at any rate, a pretty good writer. He's just done some really crappy things, but I don't think that's an indictment of his writing ability, more so than his ability to choose projects. It seems to take place in some type of alternate New York, and there seems to be a lot of hints of commentary on patriotism, what it is to be a hero, and so on and so forth. But it's too early to tell, but it looks interesting. I admit to be a little curious. This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trailer into Reaction. Peace.